Well, my name is Don, and I have a 2001 PT Cruiser. And I'm going to do a video on taking apart, getting into your evaporator for the air conditioning of the 2001 PT Cruiser. And it's a lot of work, you know, but it's not all too bad. But there are some things that that I try to help you out with that'll providing it should help you, and I'll try to explain some of the mistakes I made and stuff like that, but I'll try and help out with that, and you know, I'm sure I'm not going to cover everything because I always forget things, and I try to edit the video once I tried to edit it, and it would take like a week to edit some of my video. I mean, I don't know, it's the high definition video. It just it's really hard to edit. So I just do my video and just, you know, how long ever it takes, you know, so I can't step by step do it. But I just don't want to take the time to edit it. The high definition stuff, I don't know, it just takes too much time on the computer. I try to do it and it take like a week just to edit one picture, and I'm like, give me a break. You know, just for have the computer, you know, but so anyway, but that's one bad thing about the high definition video. But I took my heater core out there. That is, you know, that's the part that you're trying to get out of your vehicle. There was another video on the guy. He has a 2002 video about the heater core replacement, and it's his is a 2002, mine's a 2001. But there's one thing. There's one thing that I'd like to say first before I forget is like when you go inside the car, like there's everything in my car. Everything is gone. Like here's, I mean, it's kind of scary in a way, because there's my car right now. There's just nothing left in it, and so I mean, it's pretty lengthy. But I've been sitting in my car. It's been sitting like this for about 3 weeks. I just let it sit here, and I just quit working on it, and I did other things, and I just said forget it. You know, don't feel like doing it any longer. But there's one thing that the one guy said. He said you had to like when you were had to unclip these things. This is on the passenger side. These things, I never had to take these out. So you see this green thing here, this connector. I don't know exactly what it is, but you don't have to disconnect it. And when you disconnect those things, I always break the clips. I don't know, it's just so difficult to get those out. But on a 2001, anyway, you don't have to disconnect that. So if you don't have to disconnect it, you don't have to. So you don't have to do that. And, you know, like I said, you know, this working on the air conditioning part of it. And of course you have to evacuate your air conditioning, but what happened with me is I removed my evaporator in there, but what happened with mine is I was working on my air conditioning, and for some reason the pressures weren't right, and it wasn't getting cold, and it wasn't blowing cold air. But then, I mean, I cleaned out my evaporator as much as I could without taking it out of the car. And these are all the different things that I got out of my evaporator. You know, so that was the last one, and so this is close to the last one. This is all this just little, it's I don't know, little brown stuff. And I looked at it in the sun. There's little. At first, I had a bad compressor, and the compressor spread metal particles all throughout my air conditioning system. And I cleaned every time. Each one of these paper towels is each time that I cleaned out my evaporator. You know, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I flushed it out 6 times, and this is all the stuff that I siphoned. I mean, I I filtered it through the paper towels, you know, to see how much gunk I got on. And there's little metal particles. You can't see them now, but when you put them in the sunlight, if you look at it in the sunlight, you can see little tiny pieces of aluminum. And that's what I couldn't get out of my evaporator, so I just got fed up with it after I put my air conditioning system back in together. And there was still metal particles in my compressor. So what I did is I just, you know what? I said, you know what? I'm just not even gonna try and clean this out anymore. So I was having trouble. Something was wrong with the pressures. They weren't right. And I wasn't sure what was going on. So I just got a new compressor, new condenser, and I decided just to change the evaporator also at the same time. And it's pretty lengthy. I mean, if you gotta take your steering wheel off and everything, it's kind of a nightmare. But anyway, this is what it looks like inside the PT Cruiser. There's just really nothing left in there. But here's that. Then here's the center console, that thing there. That's plastic. That's a plastic piece. But I'll try and tell you a couple things to try to help you out, to try to make it a little bit easier for you, for anybody who wants to do this. But I'm not going to be completely thorough about everything, because I forget things, and I'm a human. So, but some of the things that I had trouble with is, now there are two in the center console. This thing right here is loose, but I can't get it out. It won't come out. You know, this plastic center console here. But that one guy said in the one video that's on YouTube, trying to get these there's two screws out underneath underneath this thing right here, and it won't come out unless those two screws are out. And I had a heck of a time. I could not get in there with the screwdriver. I tried a long screwdriver. It's a Phillips screwdriver. I tried to get in there. I could not get them. And that was the only thing stopping me from getting everything apart. And then so I just really got fed up. I couldn't get a socket on there. It's what it is this right here. It's just a Phillips screwdriver and a Phillips on there, but I decided to get a wrench. I could not get it with the long screwdriver, and it was the only thing from keeping me from getting everything apart. So, and I didn't have an open-end wrench like this, but I decided, I'm like, oh hey, you know, I could not get in there with a Phillips screwdriver, so I decided I went to AutoZone and I got a wrench. It's a number 7 metric wrench, and that's what I did to get those two little bolts out. I mean to screw this thing, and then I had a couple of other problems too. But anyway, that's what I did. I could not fit a socket in there. I tried a socket. A socket wouldn't work. A socket wouldn't fit. So I just went and got one of these wrenches, and that did it. You know. Then another thing, as far as those screws are concerned, you know, when you're taking apart this thing here. But first I'd like to mention this. When you're taking this thing out of your vehicle, there's these things right here. This screw right here, this screw here, and there's another one here. These are all on your firewall side. Those got to come off. And what they are is they're just like little. They're not even bolts. It's just a little sheet metal thing that's made to look like a bolt. It's made out of sheet metal, and that's all it is. You know, it just goes right on here. I guess it's 10 millimeter, but just like hardly nothing left of them. There's like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, various places throughout the vehicle. But I mean, it's just kind of funny that they didn't have regular. They weren't regular bolts. They were just made out of sheet metal. So that was just kind of strange. But as far as now getting the bolts out of here, now I also had trouble getting this apart. I mean, you got to take it apart. It's in 2 halves, but there are some screws that I couldn't get out. One of them was the one that goes. This screw, this one here. And there's also, I mean, there's 4 there. Well, 2 there. 1, 2. I mean, 1 there, 1 there. And then there's also 1 here too. I cannot. It's right here, right in the middle there, where you wouldn't even think there's a bolt there, but you got to clean it off and really look. It won't come apart unless you get that out. And then also there's another one here, right in the middle here, and you can't get them with the wrench or anything. Well, you might be able to do it with this. That one, and then one of them was stripped and it wouldn't come out, so I had a heck of a time. I ended up just breaking it. And there's also another one right in the middle here, right down there in the middle. It's very, right here. It's like, if it was dirty or you didn't have enough light, you'd never know that there was a screw there. And then also, I'd like to mention that these things, when they come out of your car and the inside, that they're 2 different, so you can't mix them up. And all the electrical connections in the car also, they're all different. So if you forget how to put them back together again, they're all different, so they're not interchangeable. So you can tell, so you don't have no worries about how they get put back together. But there's a couple of clips holding these things here, but anyway, then the one thing that I found when I took this apart was now I got this all apart, and then this comes apart like this, and there's your heater core. This is the inside of this. This is the top. And this is the bottom. But one of the kind of ironic things, I guess, oh, the door fell off. This door comes off. I gotta put that back on. I remember. But I was trying to this is your heater core right here. This is where your heater core is right here. This is the original heater core. I decided to, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not leaking, but it's copper. The tubes are copper in there, and this is plastic here.
You're there? Okay. Yeah, you can stay there. She's going to call back when she...
Okay, well, I'm doing something right now, so...
Okay, well, she's going to call back when she's at the motel.
Well, whatever. Sorry about that inconvenience. Somebody's trying to talk to me right now. But anyway, this is the heater core. So I decided to replace my heater core because it costs like, what, 80 bucks or 60 bucks or something like that. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to replace it because put a new one in. So if it's, in a couple of years, what my heater core is going to, break on me, or start leaking, and so I bought a new one. But I noticed that the original one has copper here, but the new one is only aluminum. So you might want to mention. I don't know. I'd rather have copper rather than aluminum, but what you gonna do? But anyway, this one, funny thing. It's like I'm glad I took this apart because look what was inside. This what was inside my my air conditioning unit. Look at that. Look at all that crap in there. That's like, I guess mice can get in here, and there's like cotton in here. I went and looked at that and I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, no wonder why my air conditioning things, are not getting colder. I noticed that some of it was I mean it seemed like it wasn't getting cold for some reason. And I went and looked at this. I don't know, I guess animals can get in there, but look at that thing. The only part, look, it's supposed to look like that. And look how terrible that is. I mean, like, no wonder why my air conditioning, you know, I thought maybe that something was wrong with the door or something. But man, look at that. That is just unbelievable. That is something. But so anyway, I just bought a new one of these. I'm not even going to try and clean it out. I'm fed up with it. It's not leaking or anything, but I just bought a new one, and I'm like, forget it. And I'm glad that I took that apart. And also it has these little you might want to try and save this stuff. This is like here, this stuff here, it goes on like this, so you might want to try and, you know, save that, because that doesn't come with the new one. But that is definitely, that was just like, wow. You know, so, and also, and then this so anyway, you know, that's that. So, you know, that's what's all inside there. So then the one thing also is when I was taking it apart, there was this vacuum hose, which is attached right here. This is in the dash. This is in your car. There's two vacuum hoses. There's like vacuum lines connected right here. There's two hoses right here. I can't hold the camera. These things right here. This one and this one. I'm like, what? Why are there vacuum hoses in the instrument panel? I'm like, what the heck? But I noticed, you know, I looked on here, and it's like, this is attached to one of the doors here. This is like one of the doors that's it's either the outside air or the inside vent air. It's the, you know, recirculating or outside vent. And the hose attaches right here to a vacuum thing. There's, I don't know exactly what that's called, but anyway. But there's a hose attached here, and what it does, it opens this door opening shut. This door here, see? It just opens the door between the vent air or the inside air. You want the inside or the outside, you know, air. But I noticed that mine, look, I don't know who did that, but this is all like chewed up, either from the mice or something. See how that's all chewed up in there? So I'm gonna just try and glue some new foam on there. I bought some, so I'm just gonna try and fix that, because I don't know, it probably costs a lot of money just to get this thing if I got a new one. But try and fix that that a little bit better. And also, the one thing, this goes right on top of your this unit here, somewhere over there. I don't know. It goes right here. It's right above the this is where your motor is, right here. But the motor too, and also when I taking this, when I took this apart, I wanted to clean it. You know, I wanted to clean the fan motor, because I know that when a fan gets dirty, you know, it's like a jet engine or a turbine or anything like that. I mean, they got to be clean, because they're there for, you know, they make lift, you know, just like a helicopter, you know. I mean, they got to be, those surfaces are, you know, made to create lift and to move air, and they got to be clean. So I went and cleaned every one of these little fin things out. It took me a couple of hours. But I cleaned up. But I noticed that I took a screwdriver, and I'm like, what is this things? There's like little clips here. Little clips here. There's like one here, and there's another one here. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was dirt at first, or just crud, and I popped two of them off. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I'm like, that looks like that's supposed to be on there. That's not dirt. And so make sure that you know, don't pop those things off because they're for balancing. I'm sure that's why there's another one that's down. It's down here on the inside here, right there. So make sure when you're working with this, there's two of them here, another one here. I'm sure it was balanced at the factory to balance the thing so it wouldn't, you know, vibrate. And I suppose that's pretty important, you know. So just something to be aware of about that. But anyway, I cleaned mine off, and also now these vacuum hoses too. Now there's a vacuum hose, and it goes through here. Because after I took this one apart, I'm like, how does this go together there? But I guess I'll get to that. But I gotta get up here to show you what I'm gonna do here. But this thing goes right through this hole here, right through the this thing here. It's a vacuum hose, and it goes through this hole right here, and it comes through and it attaches. I'm like trying to figure out where it went, but there's a hole here where it attaches to. Try to show you where it goes. I don't even remember where it went now, but there's a hole right over here where it goes to. Is right around here somewhere. I don't really remember exactly where it is, but that thing attaches. I found it somewhere, but there's a hole where this thing attaches to. I don't quite remember where it was, but it's right around here. You have to look and see where yours is attached to. But this thing is attached to a vacuum hose. I know it's hard to see in there. It's just hard to look. There's no light and all this stuff is in the way. Oh, there it is. It attaches. Attaches right here. Well, it's really hard to see because it's behind there. It attaches. God. That hose, that thing attaches right. Where is it? It's right. I don't know with the light. I know it's hard to show you, but here it's like right here, that little hole right there. The green thing. There's a green thing right there. The green thing goes right in there. I don't know if I can see it, but it's green because the light's in the way. It's just a hard place, but that's where it goes. Because I took it off. I'm like, where'd this thing come from? Where did it go? Because I got to put it back on. And this also, and here's what it looks like inside the dashboard. And this thing was on because I took this apart, and I'm like, I cannot understand why they would have vacuum hoses attached to the inside, but there's a black and a red thing, and I think it goes on like that. You can look at the other guy when he took us apart, but I quite don't really remember how, but I think it goes on there just like that. Like this. That's how I'm pretty sure it was. And it doesn't kind of look like it goes like that, but that's how it goes on. I'm pretty sure there's a video you can see where his is still attached, but I do believe it goes on like that. So when you take yours apart, try to remember how it went on. After I took it off, I'm like, are you sure that's how it goes on there? Because it doesn't seem like it goes on any other way. I was trying to think maybe it goes on there like this, but I think it goes on there like that. Then this is attached to the solenoid here, the red one here. This is attached right here. So and there's a vacuum pump that, or the vacuum makes that thing work. And so, oh, and also another thing is the airbag assembly. When you take the passenger airbag side out, there's a little note here. It says whenever handling an airbag module, always keep the airbag opening, the trim side pointed away from your body. Never place the airbag module on a bench or other surface with the airbag opening facing the surface. Always place the airbag module in a safe location with the airbag opening facing up. So, and to disconnect the airbag so it doesn't charge, so it doesn't go off, is basically just disconnect your battery. If there's no electricity to it, it's not going to go off. So make sure you do that, and then handle it. It is kind of heavy in this trim. This trim does not come off, and it is kind of heavy. It is rather heavy. But here's the airbag assembly thing. You can see the airbags in there. There's the airbag. But it is pretty heavy. And they said to keep this facing up. So the trim's still supposed to be on there, so don't try to take that off. The brown cover. And then I guess make sure it's facing up. It is kind of heavy. And then also the one thing I noticed about your gauges, here's the gauges. Inside there it's connected with two connections here. One there, and another one there. Is the make sure that it doesn't flip around, these things, because I did it once and it was mine, it was like that. I'm like what? The things, the needles. So make sure it's on the right side, the needles, because otherwise they won't work properly. So when you put this on, make sure they don't flip around, because there's a little stopper where they stop at, otherwise your speedometer won't work. And that's that. That's not too bad to take off. And then also the one thing is taking the steering wheel off. Also, here's the bolt for it right here. It's a 1/2 inch bolt, not a 13 millimeter. The bolt is you can't get the bolt off, but it turns, off the steel assembly thing. It's stuck onto that metal part. So, because took me a little bit to think, it's like, how the heck does this bolt doesn't even come off? It turns, but it does not come off the bracket. There's a bracket holding it on the thing, and it's a 1/2 inch. The guy said in the other video that it's a 13 millimeter. No, it's not. I tried to put a 13 millimeter on, and my wrench just came right off. It stripped a little bit of it, so it's a 1/2 inch. It's a little bit smaller. And there's a little E-ring on there. My dad, he calls these things Holy Jesus clips, these things, because Holy Jesus, it's gone. They pop off and they fly everywhere. But yeah, you don't want to lose that. But then here, the one thing, when you're trying to take the some of your components off, here I busted this off. I guess what it is, it's this is on the plastic thing that's in the car. So they go right here to position the thing just to hold it in place. There's not screws or anything, it's just there to position the trim that goes on there. But this one broke off right here. This one right here, this little thing. It broke off right here, so I'm going to try and just glue that back on. So when you're taking this off, try not to break it. You know, because I mean, some of the stuff, I don't know, it's kind of easy to take apart, but then things break off. You see mine's all this I'm going to have to try and fix it, but there's my vent thing here that's all broken off. It's just plastic, and somebody must have taken this off before, so I'm going to try and fix that. Somebody else took this apart and they broke it all up, and you can break it. It's plastic, so take it off, you know, kind of gently, and not, because you know you can break it. It's only plastic. You know, so kind of be gentle when you're taking it off. You know, just keep that in mind. Then also, I noticed too that when I was removing this steel thing, I mean, it moves. I mean, this is all attached with all the wires here. These are all the wires. You got all the wires there. This is all attached, and you can't take this apart. You can't take this off your car. This big steel bracket thing, because all the wires are attached to it, and so all you do is you got to move it aside, and then there's your vent. There's a vent. There's also a vent's got to come off. Then that goes to your rear vent here. This thing, or your rear heater, and then but also the one thing that is, and when you're taking this big steel thing off, open up the doors. You know, my door was shut, and see how that that little spot right there, that little rusty spot, I kind of scratched my panel there because my door was shut when I pulled this thing off. So open up your door before you try and pull the steel thing off, because it won't come off. I mean, it'll mark up your door. Oh, and also the mirror. When you start this job, I was banging my head on the mirror accidentally a couple of times, and a long time ago, a while back, I knocked this thing off on the glass, and it's glue. It just glued on there, the glass, and it's really strong glue. It's a special glue. And then if you knock it off, then you got to go buy some glue and then put your mirror back up there again. So just there's a screw, one of those apex tips, and just unscrew it and it just slides right off. You know, so I would say one of the first things you do is just take off your mirror before you bash your head against it and knock it off. And then it's a big hassle trying to put all the glue back on there. But yeah, this, I don't want to move this too much, but you see, it's kind of, you know, I try to put support here to support it on, but that's, and this little column thing in the middle here, it does not come off. This plastic thing, the center console here, it won't come off because your stick shift, it won't come off at all. And plus too, this is all attached to it, so I try to get it off. It don't come off. It won't come out unless you take apart you would have to take apart your emergency brake, because it's all attached. It won't come out unless they either take off a cable or something. I'm not sure, but you know, all you can do is make it loose, and that's it. That's one of the things that but to get at those two screws in there, the ones that I was saying that were right here, and I couldn't get off, there's two screws hiding in there to get the thing out, and you got to get those off. So you have to at least get it loose. And the one guy said with a really a really long screwdriver, I couldn't get mine out. I just said forget it, and I bought a wrench. But yeah, I guess it's a big job, but it's not. not all too bad. But I mean, I was afraid to do it. I'm glad the video really helped me. And here's some notes that I put. I said, I busted the pilot hole, speedometer gauges, take steering wheel out, then airbag facing down, vacuum hose. Oh, the foam. This foam's here. This stuff is on, I guess this is on the inside, this foam stuff here. This won't come apart unless you take the foam off. The foam, like, oh, it goes on, I guess, this side here, it goes here on the inside like this. It won't come apart unless you take this foam off. There's a couple pieces here. There's another piece here like this. Be gentle trying to take this off because you need to put this, glue it back on. So, you know, kind of be gentle and not to tear it. And here's another one too. Here, this is all got to come off before you can before you can split them apart because it's glued. One half is glued to the other half. So you got to take these off also. And so I got a new, I'm going to replace my compressor, everything. See, I got everything. I got the whole, oh, and also the computer. They just unbolt the computer, just take it off. You know, the computer goes right there when you're trying to take your hoses out. It's a little bit easier. There's just 4 screws, I think, on there. And I mean, that's pretty simple. I mean, just unbolt it and just I mean, it's not ow, jeez, unbelievable. Now I just broke my light. Now I got a big mess. Well, anyway, God darn it. Well, but anyway, so, and then now I gotta clean up all that mess. God darn it, I'm mad about that. Oh well. Yeah, I suppose don't break lights around your car. But anyway, alright, yeah, the balancing brackets. Yeah, I pretty much, you know, went through the stuff that I thought about doing, and you see me break my light. So anyway, now I gotta fix my light. So anyway, that's about it, and hope this video helped you out, and be safe. Don't break lights like I did. But I'm a human. I make mistakes. But anyway, hope this video helped you out, and it's a 2001 PT Cruiser, and hopefully get all back together again. Everything will be working fine, you know. So I don't know if I'll make a video when I'm done or not, maybe, but hopefully this will solve my problem with my air conditioning, and that it'll work. And it is a big job, so hope it helped you out. Okay, I'll see you later. Okay, all right, bye.